In this class, I'll be discussing why the PPC is bowed out. That is, why the PPC is concave to the origin. You remember in our previous class, when we do the PPC, we do it this way. There are two goods. We call this good X, this good Y, and this is the origin, and our PPC curve look like this. It's concave to the origin. So the question is now, why is it bow out like this? That is, why is it concave to the origin and it's not a straight line like this? Why is it not a straight line like this? Okay, why is it like this, concave to the origin? That is what we want to explain. So you remember that we assume a country that produces two commodities, and these two goods are produced by the country given the efficient use of all the available resources in the country now. And also remember that this serves as combination. Let's say here we have a particular point. Okay, now let's say we have 10 units, let's say we have 12 units, let's say 5 or 15 units here. Let's say 15 units here. Okay, now let me name this point, let's say point A and point B. Here, the country is, at this point A, the country produces 15 units of good Y and 10 units of good X. Okay, meaning that the country is allocating some of its resources to the production of Y and also some of its resources to production of X. That is, some resources are being used to produce 15 units of good Y and 12, some are also being used to produce 10 units of good X. Okay, at this point A. And at point B, the country is allocating some resources to the production of good Y. That is, 5 units of good Y are being produced using some resources, and the remaining resources are being used to produce 12 units of good X. Okay, and since we know that resources are not perfectly adaptable, okay, for example, workers and some machines are could be very good in production of Y, and so that if you allocate them to production of X, they may not be as efficient as when they are being allocated to the production of Y. Okay, for example, let's say a worker that can produce, let's say, 2 units of good Y. Okay, and when such a worker is reallocated, that is, moved away from the production of Y because we want to produce more units of X, we now say, okay, let's withdraw that worker from the production of Y and let's allocate that worker to production of X. And we know that that worker can only perform best in the production of Y. Allocating such a worker to production of X means that that worker will be less efficient in the production of X, good X. Okay, in other words, the worker that can produce 2 units of Y, good Y, when the worker is reallocated to production of X, the co-worker may only give 1 unit. Okay, because of that, okay, there will be efficiency loss. Okay, when the country try to reallocate the resources from production of one goods to another. Okay, and this scenario is what is known as increasing opportunity cost. Increasing opportunity cost. That is, in order to increase the production of one good, so there will be a reduction in the production of the other good. Okay, so that reduction in production of the other good is the opportunity cost of increasing the production of X here. Say for instance here, increasing production of good X here will involve opportunity cost, okay, of reducing the production of Y. Okay, this is what is known as increasing opportunity cost. That is, as the country continues to reallocate the resources, say for instance, away from production of good Y in order to have more unit of good X, okay, the country will sacrifice more unit and more unit, okay, of good Y in order to have more unit of good X, okay. We are asked, why is it that the production of operating curve is bow out or concave to the origin? What is responsible is increasing opportunity cost, in the sense that as the country reallocating the resources away from one good, let's say good Y, and in order to produce more unit of the other good, which is good X, okay, say for instance, okay, the opportunity cost of producing more and more unit of good X, okay, we increase, okay, because the opportunity cost of producing good X is what? Is sacrifice we make in by reducing the production of good Y. Hope that is understood. Thank you. See you in the next video. In the next video, we'll be talking about another key